Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be very quick and to the point because I'm leaving town today, so I have to just throw together a quick video. It's really unfortunately timed, but I have played through the game to end screen credits. I still have a lot of endgame to work through, but I have played through the base game and hit level 30, which is the soft cap. This game is phenomenal. A bunch of people are hating on it because of the development cycle that it went through. It went through development hell for anyone that's unaware. It is a very solid game, though. People were complaining about the way the UI looked. I don't really have too much to say on that. I think the UI is fine. It's not the greatest in the world. I don't think it looks phenomenal. It's not terrible either, though. I had a great time with the game itself. I think the majority of people are people just mad that we are killing Arkham Batman with a group of nobodies that form the Suicide Squad. But I'll tell you right now, it is not cheap. It is done very, very well, and the game is very dark, gritty, serious, and grounded in this DC universe. It is very, very compelling, and they do a good job. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the rest of the game. Okay, so like right off the bat, you get into the intro mission, and there's a bunch of really cringe dialogue. Do not let that dissuade you. I was terrified the whole game was going to be like that. After the intro scene, the banter gets a lot better and wittier. All the characters' personalities shine, and it's not just like it's not an absurd amount of stupidity in every single conversation and a bunch of stupid nicknames for everybody, like Captain Boomerang calling Harley Quinn Harles 50 times in 3 minutes. No, that all stops at the intro mission. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it got better after the intro mission. It just did. But in the intro mission, you get to suffer through that, but you get to test out all 4 characters in a little intro sequence, and then it'll let you decide who you start the game with. This is not permanent. You can change what character you're playing on the fly, at least in single player. I played through the whole thing in single player, and I could change to all 4 characters on a whim if I wanted, so that was great. It's not like you have to get a separate save file, you don't have to start a new campaign. It is literally, you are playing as Harley Quinn, zipping through the air, and mid-zip you can hold left on the D-pad. I don't know what the PC controls are yet, it's not out on PC at the time of recording this, and then you can just swap characters, and it is seamless. So I played through the whole game as Harley Quinn just because I wanted to really buckle down on one character and kind of learn them, but the game incentivizes you to play as all 4 because each mission has a different type of psyched up feature. So for instance, King Shark will be psyched up for a mission with like Penguin or something like that, and then if you play as him, he'll do more damage, he'll get extra buffs, and he will get more XP as a result. Now I ignored all of this and just played Harley Quinn because that's who I decided to main, and I wanted to fully try them out before I tried anyone else out. She is phenomenal, by the way. Each of them feature extremely good traversal abilities. So basically, that's the whole name of the game, is Traversal. There's a bunch of really intricate combat systems that we'll talk about later, but Traversal is really the heart and soul of this game. Every character has completely different maneuverability. I've heard other creators say that Harley Quinn is the hardest to get a handle on. I couldn't really tell you because I just jumped into her right off the bat. She is the most momentum-based from what I've seen because she has a grappling hook and a drone that she grapples to. And during combat, I absolutely love her because you basically just turn into a chandelier of bullets. You grapple to your drone, and she literally just swings around for like 15 seconds, just giving you the ability to shoot at everyone, while momentum is just swinging you around the central point in the sky that you set up. It is extremely good to feel like you've mastered it, and it took me a while to master it. There's a lot that went into it, really subtle things, like you're able to retract the rope, and if you do it at the right times, you'll eventually get a feel for it, but you'll be able to propel yourself further forward or further upward, depending on what you want. There's a lot of depth in this game, just in terms of mastering how a character plays, alongside how you're going to build their skills. We'll talk about the skills, but first we need to talk about the core gameplay and the systems that play a role in it as well, because that is tied very deeply to the skill tree as well. One of these systems is the combo counter. So as you hit shots, kill enemies, utilize traversal stuff, you kind of have like a heat meter that you can't see, but you'll have a combo counter that's based off this heat meter. So let's say you drop 2 enemies, and then you grapple into the air, drop another 2 midair, and then you land on the ground, get a slide off, propel yourself from the momentum of that slide in the air again, kill another 3 enemies. You're probably going to come out with like a 10 or 15 combo multiplier without any kind of additional effects, just because you pulled off a stylish move, and you got successful kills, and weaved in some traversal as well. That combo meter is basically the name of the game. It affects your skills, so you will have passive skills in your skill tree that will activate when you're at certain combo meters. It's a max of 50 without any further enhancement from skills. I know you can get 60 on Harley Quinn, but I leave it at 50 in lieu of other skills. And basically, An example of one of these that's insanely good is when I'm at a 40 times combo meter, when my combo meter's at 40 plus, I do 75% increased firearm damage, which is just absurd. But that's just one example. There's tons of examples to choose from, but it's different for every character based on their skill trees. Combo meter is very important. Now there is also a combo breaker, so the worse you perform, you won't lose your entire combo in one fell swoop, like in Shadow of Mordor. You take a hit, you can't do an execute anymore. No, here, if you take damage and start missing your shots, you will progressively build up a combo breaker meter. And when that combo breaker meter builds up all the way, then you will start to gradually lose your combo count. You can fix that by simply hitting shots and avoiding damage while also playing more stylishly. It's very easy to stay at 50 once you hit 50, in my opinion, unless you're in a boss fight and you take a major hit. Most of the time, once you enter that flow state, it only stops when the fight stops. On top of combo meter, you also have things called counter shots, which are used to parry enemies, essentially. They charge up their big move, you hit them with the counter shot, it does a ton of damage to them, hits in an AoE, and has the potential to crit, which is great for build crafting. This is not a niche thing. You're going to need to learn how to counter shot very early on. It is a mechanic that is utilized very heavily from the start of the game to the finish. Basically, it sacrifices a tiny portion of your shield to shoot out a charge shot. It doesn't really do any damage unless you interrupt a charged move, and there is a very small cooldown on it, like a second or two cooldown on it. So try not to miss that, but try to learn it, because if you can reliably hit your charge shots, it makes a big difference. And I can't even begin to think about the possible builds you can make that revolve around charge shot builds, because it has the potential to crit. Keep that in mind. Another thing is, the ad density here is always balls to the wall. There is never going to be ad scarcity. The mobs are insanely large, and most of the objectives result in a map-wide wipe, so that like the area around you is just everything's deleted in one fell swoop. Most of the time you're building up to that. So these hordes, usually once they ramp up to 100, they stay at 100 until you're done with your mission objective, essentially. It is very exciting, very fast-paced. Now, I played solo. Maybe my bots just weren't doing too much. Maybe that'll be a different story when it comes to multiplayer. But at least for me, very, very target-rich environment. Now, let's talk about the loot and the talents. So the loot is great. Every time you find a gun or anything else, so like, for example, this is a Bizarro's Undeath Ray. All Bizarro and Death Rays I find are going to be the same level. They're not going to have like different levels. If I were to find this very early on in the game, you can't. But let's say we could find this in the first 30 minutes. I could take this to like 15 plus hours in the game and it still would not be falling off. There's no kind of level difference in that regard. They can roll with different stats and augments, but as far as levels go, you're never going to out-level your weapon. You can also re-roll the stats if you want. They have some customization options. That's cool. The rarities go up to legendary, as you assume, with yellow. There's also pink, which is notorious. They have better than legendary modifiers on them. And then red is where the set bonuses kick in. Those are infamous things. You get 3 infamous items of the Bane's Rage set, for instance, and now you have the Bane's Rage set with all of its 3-part perks working. Or right here, we have the A Force of Bionics set cooking for us right now. There's a bunch of features that you can unlock to upgrade your stuff for min-maxing. For instance, you can re-roll specific augments, and depending on how many resources you put in, you can actually pick the exact augment you want to replace it on weapons. You can also re-roll stats entirely. These are features, though, so make sure you're doing side quests to unlock them. They are not just for XP and resources. Side quests unlock features. Do them. Here you're seeing the Harley Quinn tree. This is everything you can do up to level 30. After level 30, you unlock the squad skill tree, though. Here, you can just kind of sink all of your endgame XP into something. This is going to take forever to fill out. It's not meant to be filled out in any small amount of time. It's very small stat increases, but it's just something to grind for after you hit level 30. Here, you can see the cosmetics. You can have like different cosmetic loadouts, so like there's sets. So here's the fugitive set I have. Everything I change here will be saved to my fugitive set of Harley Quinn. You can change the outfit, you can change her hairdo, you can change her color palettes. You can unlock a lot of these in-game. There are microtransactions, though, keep that in mind. Here's the Task Force X set. I've already set it up the way I want it. It'll save all of these special presets for you, and you can alter them. It'll save what you previously altered. You can also do this for your AI teammates, which is great.
Let's see what
so yeah. As far as endgame content goes, we're still before Season 1. Season 1's going to be bringing a lot more content with it. And I also don't have that much experience with the endgame yet because, as I said, I'm going out of town today. I had to throw all of this together in, like, just over an hour, so I didn't get to play too much after I rolled credits. But here's an example of an endgame activity. They're called incursions, and they're seasonal sets. So right now, like the Season 0 set is called Bane's Infamy, and I read the perks, and it seems pretty absurd. I would love to make a build video on it when I get back from my trip, if, you know, Moxie and them don't already oversaturate the market in that regard. Moxie's a phenomenal build creator. I'm sure he's going to do videos for this. I didn't, you know, check his stuff out. He makes great work. But I am also going to be covering this game a little bit. Really want to cover it more once I get back from my trip. If you are not sold on the game yet and you're still curious, there's going to be drops going on all week. As soon as you're done watching this video, boot up Twitch. I'm sure the top viewers, the top streamers for this game are going to have their drops enabled. Just pop in. You can also get skins for this. You can check them out playing through the game. It just entered early access for PC at the time of this upload. It doesn't come out until February 2nd, so you got some time to make a decision before you make the purchase. I also think it's important to point out that I didn't have a single bug or crash throughout the entirety of my playthrough on console. I have less than half an hour of playtime on PC. You're seeing literally 30 minutes of footage put together throughout this entire video because I can't record on my Xbox, but not a single bug, like period, not even like a minor bug happened for me. It was a seamless experience. That may change once servers get a little out of hand. I mean, we had some server issues during the early access period for console, but as far as bugs go, my game didn't crash once. I didn't encounter any game-breaking bugs or minor bugs. Everything worked perfectly up until credits rolled. I don't know how that's gonna, you know, go once everyone gets their hands on it. I don't know if servers are gonna cause bugs. I don't know how all that works, but just important to note, this is an extremely well optimized game. They were not lying when they said that. Okay, that about does it for this little short kind of review. Sorry about how unprofessional it was. Again, I apologize. I really just had to get this out there in like record time for me, so this didn't really have a script and the pacing's all off, but thank you for watching. If there's anything at all that I didn't cover that you think is important, please put it in the comment section below for other viewers to, you know, have more information about the game before they purchase it or tell their friends to get it or whatever. You all have a great day. Thank you so much. I'm Hatterax, signing out. Peace.